Hey Ajay, thank you so much for joining me. How
You're
are you
able to
doing,
hear
buddy?
me?
All well? Absolutely, I can see you, I can hear you. Let us see if our
Thank
guests,
you. Thank you so much.
our viewers are able to see you and hear you well. How are you doing? All
Thank
fine?
you. Thank you. All fine, Professor. Fantastic. How was you? How was life?
Life's being very kind, very generous. Such amazing people are giving us their 7 p.m. Monday evening time. It can't be
Yes.
more better, right? So when you and I are talking and people are listening to us live, it really means that there is something that they look up to us in terms of some knowledge, some
Definitely.
learning, and I hope that every
Definitely.
minute and every second of the audience who are available right now are able to gain something out of it.
Means a lot. Means a lot to me.
Guys, thank you so much once again. And this is Ajay Marshal. Ajay Marshal, I can go on and start introducing him. The words are very few. He's a film maker. While he was a college student, he's a musician. He's a writer. Then he turned into a corporate, hunk. Now he's part of a big multinational company. He sells elevator stuff across pan India. I think you're managing the pan India sales and distribution and the operations of Mitsubishi, right?
I'm I'm handling key accounts,
Key
a
accounts.
set of accounts for Mitsubishi. Yes, yes,
Fantastic, fantastic. So it's a great transition, Ajay. So our
yes,
viewers who are
yes.
excited to see you, hear you, try and get an experience about what exactly do you do, how have you transformed yourself from a college student, writer, film industry, direction, and then changing your passion towards a corporate life, and how was your transition and so on and so forth. So let's get started and tell us about your humble beginning days, right from your school to your college to your passion. Go ahead, all yours.
Professor, and yeah, wish everyone a very happy New Year. Like I said, this this uh, this is a year which we should not keep for a want. This is a year we should be grateful for what we have. So, and that's it. And wish you very all a very happy New Year, Professor. You asked me about life's journey. So
Yes.
when somebody asks me about life's journey, I would say life is a long journey to an unknown destination. You don't know. Nothing is
Wow,
defined, you know.
wow, nice.
I mean, you don't know where exactly, and you don't know what is the end, and you don't know what is happening tomorrow. But then, although you can plan it, so life is still it's a long journey to an unknown destination. If you so, I as a child when I started, I mean, as a typical kid, I had various dreams, occasional dreams. I wanted to be an army guy. I wanted
Oh,
to fight for the
wow,
country. That's
wow,
because I
wow.
got inspired by somebody. And I wanted to be a writer, and I was actually treated as a celebrity writer when I was in school because one of
Wow.
my articles got published in Times of India News in Education program, and those kind of things. But I owe most of my things to my father, who thought every small thing I did as if that's the biggest thing I did in the world. He was so surprised. Might be he thought it was a miracle or something like that. So that's about it, Professor. But one thing is, see, there was one point in my school time when actual recognition came as the student of the year 2007 when Times of India awarded me and selected me as a student of the year. So that was a big booster for me. And then life moved on, went, and I got into due to dire conditions in the family. I really didn't know what has to be taken further. So I didn't have anybody who can guide me and say, okay, you need to do medical, you need to do engineering, you need to do science, or you need to do a master's in business administration. There was nothing. So this is just a raw thing which came to me. And, actually I thought I need to start working after SSLC because
Oh,
that is how I was actually trained in my family, or that is how I thought it should be. But things changed, and fortunately, my parents got upgraded. I got upgraded. Things came in way, education loans and such. I got into engineering, and actually, due to dire conditions in the family, I started off as a swimming coach, as a part-time swimming coach
wow,
while studying,
wow,
and
wow.
then and then I did music gigs for some time because I'm a drummer. So I used to enroll with some bands, do some music gigs, and just went on, Professor. And now I work for a multinational company. We are as a vertical transportation professional, as a key account manager, handling big businesses. I'm so grateful to life as it is.
Brilliant, Ajay. So all of viewers are so excited, as excited as I am. So imagine, most of us go through a very humble background. We kids, they are called the early millennials, right?
Yeah,
So the millennials are somebody who
yeah,
are
yeah,
born
yeah.
between the 80s and 2000s. So we have not seen the kind of technology as we were
Mm.
born, but when we grew up, maybe in our college days, we
Yes,
got to use a lap,
yes,
desktop, then a laptop, then a mobile phone, and so on and so forth.
yes, yes.
So when you're talking about, a lot of people, are confused with their passion versus a career, right? So this is a very, very
Mm,
difficult
mm, mm,
decision for people. So when you,
mm, mm.
during your school days, you were a writer, you were awarded the best,
Yeah,
student of the year from Times of India. It's a great
mm,
achievement,
yeah,
right? So do you remember
yeah. Thank you.
anything
Yeah.
that you actually wrote during your school days that gave you that student of the year award? What was it that you wrote? Anything that you recall?
This particular, I recall one of the essays that I've written about corruption in India. So that was just for a competition which I've written. So although I don't know much about what I had written at that time, but yes, I wrote about corruption. I remember the topic.
Wow, wow. How did you transition from a writer to a musician, Ajay?
Professor, as I said, things come in your way. So what actually happens is uh, when you come across certain things, I mean, you are based on your interest, how
Mm-hmm.
passionately you pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
That is what matters. So in school, of course, I was in St. Joseph's Indian High School. The school had
Coincidentally, even I am from St. Joseph Indian High School.
ah, oh my God, oh
So we
oh
guys are
brilliant. Okay,
Josephites, all through.
yeah, okay, nice to meet another Josephite.
Likewise,
Josephites
likewise.
rocks. That's what they say in school.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
So, so what I was trying to tell is, when things come in your way, how passionately you pick it up. See, when you talk about passion, passion is something which you learn on your own, which you get yourself skilled to, and which you master it. That is when that turns to be a passion. So, how passionately you pick it up. So that is how I turned up to be a musician, and I never attended any what do you say, very functional or a very formal kind of musical sessions. I'm a very basic musician. I'm basically a drummer, so a rhythmist. So when school had a band, I participated with the band, learned it through the friends, learned it to colleagues, my classmates. So that's how it happened, Professor.
Brilliant, brilliant, Ajay. I think the kind of multi-talented person you are, I don't know if I know many people with so many inbuilt talents. So I'm so happy to be talking about, your hidden talents, and I get to know you more. Although I know you
Mm,
since couple of years, but I think, this discussion is giving me more of insights about you, right? So
yeah.
how was it when you came in the newspapers for your 2000 rupees budget movie that you first made about Booth?
Yeah. See, marketing is something I don't know. It was very natural to me.
Wow.
So when I did, first let me tell you actually how I got into filmmaking because that will connect to this point actually. So there was one event in college where it was a techno-cultural festival, and
Which
it
college
had
did
a
you study
filmmaking
in,
contest in
and
it.
what were you studying?
This was Jain College of Engineering.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this had a technocultural festival. In technocultural festival, filmmaking was one contest. So luckily, I had my uncle's camera and software at home. So I picked up the camera, shot videos. You know what? That really fascinates when you show to the world what's in your brain, and you and people are able to watch it. So that fascinated me. I picked up the camera and I played something, and I called it "Every Child is Special." That's a video which I made,
Wow.
shooting some kids. And you know what? I won second place in that event. But
Wow,
you should also
brilliant.
know there were only two. but there were only two contestants in it, Professor.
The beauty of your honesty is that it doesn't really matter how many positions or how many participants are. The fact of the matter is that you participated, so that's the biggest achievement I feel would have been. So great,
Yes.
great. Go ahead.
So basically, after that big achievement of the second prize in the event, I went on to do another project. So that was about a documentary about water scarcity, the importance of water and such, and I called it Bund. Bund actually means a drop of water.
Yes.
So that was a silent film. So I really don't know how much I spent. I mean, it could have been very less than 2K. So I wanted to show this to different places. I went to St. Joseph's School. I screened it there. I went to some other schools. I went to uh, what is this place called Anganwadis, where government schools. So there I went. I projected it on my laptop. I did some music jam and such. So this I thought, why can't it be shown it to why can't we take it to the next levels? So I rang up to different news medias. So that's when I caught hold of Bangalore Mirror. So this person, amazing person called Samir Ranjan Bakshi, he came, took my interview, and he wrote a beautiful article about it, and he named it. He made a film with 2K. So that's how it turned up.
Wow, 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 wow. So what are the lessons that you learned from that movie making, Ajay? Anything that you recall from that movie making episode of yours?
Only thing I would recall is see, after doing this project and this came on papers and such, I got a call from Mr. Kumar, I guess, who was the head of department of New Horizon College of Management Studies.
Oh,
So he called me and said, "Why don't you come and give me give a talk about how you managed to do this project?" I was like, "I'm still an engineering student. I've not at all completed my engineering, and I don't know if I will do an MBA also. I need to pay my education loan for this. And how do you? I'm an engineering student going to a management guys and teaching about giving a talk about how I did a project like this." I mean, I said, "Sir, do you really think I should come there?" He said, "No, you can come." So I went there. I did a 2-hour session of how I did this project and how I managed to create funds and how this thing went on. So that was one of the biggest lessons. I thought, oh, okay, what I'm doing actually means a lot. It is not just filmmaking. It means a lot. I mean, I've learned various other things, how to coordinate, how to get in funds, how to manage a particular project. Ultimately, it's about a small business that I manage. So that's actually a fun
that
activity and it's a
that
good
was your
learning for me.
biggest learning. That was your biggest learning, right? So you
Very
made the
true, very true.
movie
Yes,
not with the intention
yes,
of becoming famous or earning money or fame as such, but you made it with your pure will and heart of solving a particular problem, a societal problem. And that
yes,
gave you
exactly.
that leverage of coming in the newspaper and then the college principal calling you up and inviting you for guest talks, right? So
Yes,
to all
yes,
our
yes, yes,
viewers, right?
yes.
So the first half of talk of Ajay's life is all about his upbringing, his schooling, his college, his music, his writing skills, his movie presentation. Now,
Yes.
the second phase of Ajay is about the phase of a corporate guy, right? So one side of the story is about your career, the other side of the story is about your passion. So if you're able to mix both of them, you are one of those fortunate people in the world who are able to make the best out of their life. Yeah, but at the same time,
Definitely, yeah.
coming from humble middle class family, trying to figure out if we can earn enough money to take care of our family and pay the loans, right? So I think most of our viewers and audience would definitely like to hear your transition into the corporate world, and what role did an MBA play in your success?
See, when it comes to MBA, what I would say is, I mean, first of all, I need to thank the earlier organization that I worked for, who supported me to do this MBA, executive MBA, and that too, Dynand Sagar University was amazing. So I did an executive program, unlike a regular MBA, because I need to work as well as concentrate on my MBA. Professor, what I personally feel is management or leadership, like swimming, cannot be learned by sitting in a classroom or watching a YouTube video. You need to get into it. You need to be practical, deep dive in it, or sometimes drown in it, and then you will come out, as a successful swimmer. And that is how management studies can be. So when you are already into an organization, seasoned into an organization, or even if you are new into an organization, and when you do an executive MBA, so that's where the actual practical essence comes into picture. So
Wow.
you practice your management skills every day, and then on a weekend you go sit in the classroom, or the university even offered offline mode also. So you can sit, listen to this case studies, study the case studies. Actually, you will be able to reflect, and what are you doing every day on a day-to-day life, and that's the best way of learning, is what I feel. It's mere sitting in classroom, mere reading a book, mere solving problems or writing an exam, mugging it up, then actually getting into it, drowning into it, swimming through it. That's how management should be learned. That's how leadership should be practiced. So this is my experience of executive masters in business administration. And I should mention the university name, that is Diamond Saga University.
Of course, of course, of course. It's a renowned university. It's been there for last 70 odd years. Helping India with best of engineers and doctors and management graduates. So very very few institutes have earned that reputation. I think the Anand Sagar is one of those
Yes,
institutes
yes,
who are more
yes,
focused towards building better citizens, right? So
yes,
with that aspect of how you transformed yourself from an engineer to a passionate musician and stuff, and then you went into doing an MBA. So how did an executive MBA help you get the kind of job that you have actually imagined, that you could be working on these skills as well? Did it actually help you?
it did definitely help me, Professor, and it did various, I would say, wonderful things in my career actually. So usually, see, I'm part of a sales. I'm part of a sales department. I do sales. The sales is my everyday business, and I'm also, as I said, like I've already said earlier, I'm a engineer by chance and a business manager by choice. So,
Wow.
so when you are into when you are into business and you apply your skills that you have learned, MBA actually plays a very very big role, because it creates it creates a virtual scenario what you actually learned. See, without an MBA, the spectacle that you wear is different. With an MBA, the spectacle that you wear is different, because you know what you're doing. You know exactly this is what it is. This is what I learned that day. But otherwise, you would have been doing it. But you would have not cherished it, or you don't know the importance or the essence of it. So with an MBA, you get to know the essence of it. You bring it to practical scenario and you learn it. And one more thing, even till today, I'm part of this case study club of Dayanand Sagar University. So
Yes, yes.
wherein they share these case studies on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis, and once in a time we brainstorm this case study on a Zoom call or a video call, and then we discuss this case study. So that's something very brilliant. So this all actually evolved into me, and that is how it happened.
Brilliant, brilliant,
And
Ajay.
I should thank Professor Kirmani for introducing this executive MBA program to me, because I was actually thinking which is the right program for me. So
That's
thank you,
that's
Professor.
that's that's your humbleness. Yeah, I mean that's how kind you could be. Thank you so much for the appreciation. But bottom line is that it's your decision. So considering that our viewers are listening to us, what is that one piece of advice, right? That before I could take some questions which are already in the comment section, what is that one piece of advice that you would like to give our audience who's listening to us since last 15-20 minutes regarding
Okay.
their career and passion? What is it that you would recommend?
Professor, regarding this session, about this something very which I've always told many places, which I've always said, and at whichever forums I got this opportunity, I always compare our life. Just imagine a large desert just imagine a large desert. Uh, that's the universe. It's infinite. And a small grain of sand, and that's the earth. And within this
Wow,
grain of
wow.
sand, there are millions and millions of species. And there's one particular species which can write, which can paint, which can even go to space, and which can even come on an Instagram live video and talk, and other species can also watch it. So that's the magic of human life, Professor. So what I'm ultimately trying to tell is, if you're here, you need to be passionate. You need to love your life, and you should know the value of life. To know the value of life, you should be passionate. And to be passionate, people say, why should I be passionate? I mean, what's there to be? You should be passionate because the time is clicking.
Wow, wow, wow.
Next 60 years, Professor Kirman is not going to be here, and I'm not going to be there, but the legacy may live on. I'm sure Professor Kirmani's waves of working the top 50 graphics will live on. But what
You
I'm
have
trying to tell you
been,
is,
you're my guest, so you're my guest. So the reason that you're my guest is because you have done some impeccable work right from your school days to the journey. I am
yes,
sure that this story is also to be narrated to our audience about how was it when you were part of the project of a special project of the Prime Minister's residence that was coming up in Delhi. So tell us a little bit more about that if you can.
no, Professor, that was not a Prime Minister's residence actually.
Okay.
So that was another project which was done for a particular company, which I feel at this forum, it's not the right place to discuss.
All right, all right. So probably I saw
Yes, yes,
something
yes.
on your LinkedIn profile where you actually
That
mentioned
was
that.
that was one of the most prestigious projects, which was inaugurated by the Prime Minister himself, where I
Okay,
was part of
okay.
the elevator and
Okay,
escalator.
okay. So you have so many feathers on your hat that Times of India gave you the best student award. You made a movie, in 2,000 rupees and less budget. You are covered in Bangalore Mirror and some of the most amazing articles in the
Yes,
media. And you did an MBA, and then you got into a corporate job where you are now managing sales and managing bigger projects where one of the projects that you have handled where the prime minister himself was the chief guest. So imagine your legacy is all the way building on to see Ajay Marshal to be somebody that people would look up to and try and approach
yes.
for any kind of career and life guidance. I'm sure you're the right person. So people, if you are having any questions, do follow Ajay Marshal on his Instagram page, follow him on LinkedIn, and do drop in your comments. I think I've got one or two questions, right? So there
Yeah.
is one question. About as an upcoming engineer, what are the skills that one would look for in an engineer? There is a question by the 9-year-old. Ajay, the question is for you. What
See,
skills does an engineer need to have?
engineer need to have to be curious. Engineer need to be curious. Engineer need to be a seeker. Engineer need to be uh, a curious seeker who wants to explore, who wants to evolve. And basic thought of an engineer is, as a very very reluctant engineer in the beginning, but now an engineer himself. So as an engineer, you need to just look at the problem solving skills. So engineers are here to solve problems. So engineers are here to apply skills, apply science, and then solve the problems. So that's the what is a fantastic thing, magic of engineering.
I so love this piece of advice when you said that engineers are born to be problem solvers, right? So I
Yes,
somewhere
yes,
read this on one of the quotes on LinkedIn, I guess, that the entire life, everybody has their own journey. uh, Everybody
yes,
comes across problems, but the
yes,
beauty of a successful life is about how you solve a problem.
yes, yes,
It's
exactly,
not about praying about
exactly,
having a problem free life. There can never be a problem free life. There is
exactly,
always going to be challenges and problems and obstacles. How can you solve it?
exactly.
How can It's a puzzle, right? So like in the
Yes,
beginning of this discussion, you said that It's unbelievable, and we cannot even understand what tomorrow holds for us, right? So
Yes.
the entire idea is about
Yes.
how good are we in solving our problems, be it a mathematical problem, be it a life problem, be it a case study, be it any kind of a problem or habits that you have in your personal life, and so on and so forth, right? So with this,
Yes.
I think we are just about 2.5 minutes away. If you have any
Yes.
questions, my dear amazing audience, if you have any questions, feel free to type in, and I'm sure Ajay would be so happy to hear your thoughts. There is another question about. Wait, let me just check on that. What course did Ajay Marshall take in engineering?
So basically, that's left to your personal interests. So if you need somebody who need to guide you based on your aspirations of what you exactly want to be, either it's mechanical or chemical, or I mean, engineering now has various vast variety of streams. So it purely depends on what you want to be in future.
Great, thank you so much, Ajay. It's actually this is my first Let's Grow series, and I'm so happy to have you as my first guest on this beautiful
Yes.
Monday, the first Monday of the new year. And I
Thank.
hope your life, your family's life, with great health, great happiness and prosperity. Wishing you the best. I hope that we stay in touch and share our knowledge and learnings as we go ahead. And to the lovely audience, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It really means a lot. If you are there, that's the only reason that Ajay and I are with you, sharing our life stories with you. I hope it was meaningful. Do drop your love to us. Follow Ajay Marshall, especially on LinkedIn. If you guys are looking at corporate life, I think that's something that
Yes.
each one of us should be there, right? And God bless. Take good care of yourself, and see you soon. Thank you so much, Ajay. We will catch up with you,
Thank you.
on the other side
Thank you,
shortly.
Professor.
Great
Thank you
talking to
so much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Take
so much
care.
for the
It's a
motivation, and God
privilege to be
bless.
here.
God bless. Take care, my brother.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
Take care. Bye
everybody.
bye.
Have a great time. Good night.